Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, She's French, and if you're new, welcome. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. So as promised, we're going to continue with the minimalist capsule closet guide, videos, series, whatever you want to call it. The last one, which was a little while ago, but I promise you it's there, was 5 steps to creating your capsule closet. And today I wanted to talk about mistakes that you may or may not, but that you might be making that could be making it harder for you. So if you're doing any of these mistakes, let's fix it, let's talk about it, and hopefully this will help you to create your dream capsule closet. I'm filming almost makeup free today, which I'm pretty excited about, and I used to not do in the past, so that's exciting. I'm kind of like in this era right now. I might just be like ascending into minimalism more and more, who knows. But let's get started with today's video. What I really want to get across with these videos is that yes, you can build a closet, but it doesn't need to be all-consuming. I really want these videos to kind of help you make good choices when you're shopping or when you're assessing your closet, no matter what like period of time you're in and doing this. I want this to be helpful, but I also want to be clear that this is not like an all-consuming process. Like I don't wake up thinking about my closet. I don't go about my day like, like crafting what I need to do for my closet. It's kind of just there. Like what I'm trying to create for you is like a tool and like kind of help you reframe your thoughts to get to that place, but it's not as brutal as I think it can seem, or that's what I want to tell you anyway, and to help you get to that place where it's comfortable and easy and it's not like a daunting task, like, oh my gosh, I need to go and do my closet, it's a whole thing, I don't even have the time for it. Like, no, it's actually super easy, and these are little things that you should think about so that you don't make mistakes, and then it helps you have a smoother process doing this. These are not things that I think about often, like I've been doing this for a long time. I have like a pretty set routine. My closet is not something that I put a lot of thought into, and that's actually something I'm trying to do even less and less. I want to have my like routine stuff and not really think about it, but that does kind of take creating that routine, and that's what we're doing right now. Hopefully that makes sense. So number one is going to be thinking that you need to buy all new clothes. There's no way. First off, I'm sure that none of us can realistically throw everything in the trash or sell it, or whatever means you're using to discard of an item, to then go out and buy a brand new wardrobe, closet, all of that. There's no way. And realistically, you're gonna have clothes that are totally fine, that you enjoy, that you wear often, and that you can build from. There's no need to start from scratch. And I think that's something we need to think about, like with regular shopping too. We need to stop attaching this like aspirational, like, oh, having this in my closet is gonna change me entirely and my style, and it's gonna create all of this. It's not. It's a piece of clothing. It's pretty basic. There's those things I think need like deeper changes elsewhere, and like alignment, like this goes deep, but alignment in your life in a different way. But I guarantee you the shirt, the belt, the whatever is not gonna like reimagine you fully. And that's why we need to create this little routine. So no, you don't need to throw everything out and start over. Maybe you do have things that you could go and declutter, and I have a million videos about this, and you can grow tired of things. There might be things that perhaps are not lasting. For me, a big thing with my closet is that because I rewear stuff often, and I do wash it, obviously, but things just tend to wear down, and that's why you have to make good choices when you're shopping, so that you have stuff that holds up with you, because that is a little part of the lifestyle, and there is some maintenance you have to do. Like there is some work that you need to be doing, but it doesn't feel like work because it's just like regular routine, and it's easy to do when you don't have a lot of stuff. But yeah, this goes into the next point, which is number 2, over decluttering, and then you end up missing some key pieces in your closet. Please, please, please do not over declutter just for the sake of saying, oh, I have this many things in my closet. You're gonna really feel that when you go to open your tiny closet and you're like, oh wow, I have nothing to wear. And I know you might feel that. You might have a very full closet, and I've been there too. I haven't always been a minimalist, by the way. It's it's something that I started doing actually in college, so it's been a while for me, but still, I did have a point where I did open a full closet and oh, I have nothing to wear. But that comes from the mistakes that you're making shopping, but then there's also the mistake of getting rid of everything and having nothing left. Like I was saying earlier, there's like this kind of like sense of self it goes so deep, but I'm serious, that you need to build where you know what you like. You're not going to be swayed by the next trend and so on, especially if you're trying to build your key pieces you're going to rewear. You can't be buying the trendy pieces because I guarantee you, you will get tired of them and you're going to feel, again, it's going to start that whole loop where you're like, oh, actually, I don't have the right thing. You need to get stuff that really identifies with you and that matches, first off, your lifestyle. Like, you can have the most beautiful heels and you can think that's so stunning, and it might be like the most beautiful picture of your closet. You know, like, imagine like the most beautiful closet in your head and there's like this wall of like the perfect shoes. You don't wear heels every day, so what's the point? That needs to make sense for you. If you're gonna declutter, especially when you're starting out, I think that it should be things that are obvious to you why you would declutter them. Things you're not wearing, things that are damaged, or, you know, like things that don't fit, things that are super simple. Over decluttering like your coats and useful things, but then you don't really know what you're going to replace them with, because if you live in a climate where you need a coat, don't declutter your coat in advance unless you have a specific plan to like, okay, like actually I want to go in this direction, this is the kind of coat that I want. But like, spoiler alert, it's hard. I've like switched out my coat a few times now, and that's just like part of it. So you can declutter all you want, but if you're not left with anything that's wearable, you're gonna rush to buy something and perhaps that's not the right thing, unless like that's really the direction you're going in. You know what style, what you're building, where you're going with your closet, it goes with everything you're keeping or that you have. But don't get rid of everything and don't rush to purchase. That's the big thing. And don't be swayed by other people and what they're buying and what they're telling you you need for this season or whatever. It's likely not gonna be the choice that you might have made for yourself if you had the time for reflection and also planning. Like right now, and it's really like it's hard to do this, by the way. It's hard to say no because it's marketed in such a way that like you totally see yourself and like, yeah, like it matches the season, it matches whatever. There's a coat I'm thinking of right now that even I was like, oh, I love that vibe. You're gonna see it ever, I guarantee you. It's the really fluffy coat. It's like fluffy here, the sleeves are fluffy, and then it's probably like a brown suede or something, and it might be like short or long. Those coats look so good, but like realistically, are you gonna wear that next year, in 2 years, and so on? You probably want to go a little bit simpler with your coat. You always have room to get like a second or to have like other options, but the capsule closet, I think by default, it's pretty simple. The next thing is that maybe it's not working for you if you're going in this like ultra beige neutral route. Perhaps that's not you. Your capsule closet doesn't have to be boring, and it should not feel boring. If it feels boring, then you're not doing it right. You're not building something for yourself. You're again like going in this like built-in direction, but there's no such thing. It needs to work for you. And if you don't do that, you're not going to be able to keep up with it, and watch, you're going to add more stuff because you're not going to feel satisfied. Again, you have to pick stuff that you like. You're allowed color. Just because I don't reach for a lot of color doesn't mean that you shouldn't. And actually, I do enjoy some color. There's some I enjoy from afar because I know that if I buy them, I will get tired of it. But I love brown, I love beige, and you might be like, oh my god, these are the most boring colors she could list. But that's just what I'm going for. That's what I like. I know that if I did the opposite and I bought like a red or something, I would never touch it, even though I do like it. Like, don't get me wrong, I do like color and I love seeing it on other people. I don't ever look at someone and go like, ugh, like never. Like, you're allowed your self-expression and that's cool. But again, it needs to work for you. You need to be excited about it. So if for you it's a colorful capsule closet, that's a thing. That's allowed. That's okay. That's what you like. And that's what you should do, actually. You shouldn't be like copying these closets. Like, I feel like when I think back to like the early days of minimalism, there was this like closet that was like the cookie cutter. Like, I can imagine it in my head right now. It was like a row of button-up shirts. No, like, well, for me anyway, like, you know, like that might be your thing, but like for me, I could never build a closet of button-up shirts. I would never leave the house. Like, I would never ever think to put that on for myself. And also with my lifestyle, I don't want to imagine like a row of button-up shirts as my everyday clothes. Like, they would get trashed. And now this actually goes very seamlessly. It's almost as if I planned this. We're gonna talk about the next mistake, which is having things that are not you and don't match your lifestyle. And you can definitely have a you that's like a realistic you. And then I think we all have an ourself, an us, whatever grammar I'm going for here, that is like the idealist one. And I think that it's really good to pick like some bits from that ideal self, but then we have to like be realistic and bring it back down to like our real self, and like what are we actually like practically wearing every day. And I think that's where you can make a lot of mistakes. And again, it's that like ideal closet that we can all imagine, but then like when you're stepping out on the street, when you're like leaving your house, are you actually comfortable wearing that? For me, skirts is a good example. I always try to do a skirt and I always make a mistake with a skirt. I have one skirt, and that skirt goes to like a little blazer set, and that's like my go-to. It's like a cropped, it's like, okay, it's a men's blazer that's like cut in half, and they made a skirt and a cropped blazer. That's like my easy, like I have an event, I'm wearing this like outfit. And again, like that's actually a good example too, is I don't have a lot of moments like that. So actually having that one is perfect. I don't need a collection of them, even though I think it would be stunning. Because like I don't go to that many events. But yeah, every time I've gotten a skirt, apart from that one, I don't wear it. It's a mistake. Be careful about that. There's so many like aspirational things. Like you might see like the most beautiful outfits on Pinterest, you want to recreate them, but then they just don't match your lifestyle. And for me, it's so real, especially as a mom, because there's so many things that I can think of wearing, but then I know what my day looks like, especially when I'm out with my son. Like, you know, like we're not being very precious about our clothes. Like it's not a super like prim and proper day where we're like, you know, like cutesy vibes like that. Like I need stuff that works. I need comfortable shoes. Shoes is a big one. I mentioned heels earlier, but also like the level of comfort in your shoes is super key. I've been selling a lot of my designer shoes, but pretty much all of them are gone apart from my most comfortable pair and my most like realistic pair, because I just wasn't wearing the other ones, especially because I wasn't finding them comfortable on the cobblestone, the tiny little pavements, the wet pavements in Paris. Like I love the idea of like the ballerinas and so on. And I know that I've made videos being like, oh, my dream perfect rotation. Like, yeah, that's the thing. They were the dream. But then having them a couple years later, like, ouch. So I feel like I'm finally like getting to that place myself. And that's why sometimes like making these videos, I know that I like talk about stuff that I've said before and I'm saying something different, but I think that's the whole point. I know a lot of you watch my videos and like go back in time and watch them, and thank you so much for that, by the way, but like take it with like the grain of salt that like I'm also a growing, changing person and I don't always know best and I make mistakes too. But that's why these videos are there. It's so that I can also like come in and tell you like, hey, like here's some of my experiences as someone that has a minimalist closet. Like it happens, it's no big deal. Again, like I've told you, like I'm not actively like thinking about my closet like that and just like in anguish over a mistake I made. I definitely don't love it, but I also take the time with that lifestyle and that routine that like I'm okay with then like selling something and moving on from it. And I think also too, this is like another thing, but having that detachment is good because then you're not like putting yourself through heartache with those things. But also like be careful with your money and don't get things that like, if you know, like if you already know, sometimes you'll make the mistake you're not aware. Like me and the ballerinas, like I love that idea and they did work for work really well, but then I hated the commute, and realistically I wasn't gonna put them in my bag and then change shoes and then carry my other shoes around or leave them somewhere. Like it was too much. But yeah, like if you already know you're looking at something or you have something that you're considering keeping but you know it doesn't match, like move on from it, you know, like allow yourself the room for something that actually fits you and matches you. And now number 5, which I think is also related to the same topic, don't create a boring closet because you think you have to. Your closet should not feel boring. If it's boring, you're doing it wrong. You should be excited by your outfits. And when I say that, like mind you, like I'm not wearing anything groundbreaking, but I think actually I will make the argument that there is like a strong sense of style when you can wear something very simple and it just matches your style. I'm not saying that here I'm like out here like breaking the barriers of fashion and like doing something revolutionary with my little roll neck. But you know, like when someone really has their style down and it's effortless and it's natural, it's not really loud, but like it still like tells you, like you get like an essence. Like I've met people like this, like so many people, and like you just feel it. And if you actually look at them, it might not be like you're like, oh, they're wearing t-shirt, jeans, boots. Like it's pretty simple, but I mean, like what can you truly do, unless you're like really in like that like sphere of fashion? But that's that's not personally my vibe, and that's, I don't think, like if you're here, I don't think that's also your vibe. But anyway, like these people that have like these super simple outfits, they give you a lot. Like there's so much energy behind it, there's so much like cool like essence, or whatever you want to call it. And sometimes it's super simple, but that's because it's a closet that really matches them. And like, you know, like it's like connected, like it just makes sense. I think that's like the most powerful like outfits, closets, blah blah blah, that you can create. And again, that's gonna take you knowing yourself, knowing what you're creating, what you want to put out there about yourself. And I promise you, it's simple. It's not like intricate pieces, it's not the craziest like designer finds. Like again, it doesn't have to be expensive to do that. You just have to know what you like. I think that's like the biggest takeaway from like shopping mistakes, or like capsule closet mistakes that you can make, is buying things that are not to your like standard and your liking, like your true liking. So yeah, please don't forget your personal style. Everyone has it. Everyone has style. Even if you think like, oh, I need like a lot of inspiration for fashion, or maybe I'm not like a naturally like fashionable person, you are. Like I promise you, you know, you are yourself, and that's enough as yourself, and you don't need to emulate someone else. You have, I'm sure, like think about all your hobbies, your likes, the things that you're into. All of those things come together and make you you. And then there's a way to put that out there through what you're wearing. And I promise you, it's simple, and a lot of it will be confidence too. But like you don't need to reinvent like your whole closet and like create this like crazy like idealist self. Like you already have it. So yeah, don't create a boring wardrobe just because you feel you need to, or because that's what you see out there. It's all about like kind of you're curating a little bit of restraint too, knowing when to buy or not to buy, knowing what to keep. Again, I talk about this all the time, like choosing good materials will help you so much, and like it will bring longevity to your closet, but it doesn't have to be expensive. This, I'm so excited about this. This I paid 60 bucks for, 100% wool. Got this at Brandy Melville. I talk about Brandy Melville all the time. I'm telling you, you can find the best basics, 100% cotton. This is 100% wool. This type of material comparable elsewhere, if you slap a brand on it, you're gonna find it for so much more expensive. And this is absolutely stunning. Like these things are easy. If you know where to look, you find your couple trusted brands, look at like the really beautiful, I think this is called stockinette. And then like the cuffs, the roll neck is so nice. It's not itchy, it's soft, it's warm. This is like a dream, and it was not expensive in this like grand scheme of sweaters. I promise you, if you go online and you look up like 100% wool sweaters, you'll see what I'm talking about with the prices. You're paying for the brand. Just read the material. And this doesn't even have a brand on it. Like Brandy Melville is like, whatever, we're not even putting the tag on this one. I just have the composition tag. But yeah, find your stores, find your vibe, yourself, and then just like keep that kind of wheel going, maintain as you go. You don't need to start over. You don't need to create something revolutionary. Like I promise you, it's not that hard. I do say that though, and I have made mistakes. So there is a little element of like, it's a little bit tricky, but I think a lot of that is like external. And like, if you really like simplify and like come back down to the basics, then it's not that hard. But with that being said, I'd love to hear some mistakes that you might have made. I've listed a couple of mine in this video, but I'd love to hear from you. And I think it's like uplifting to see that, and it makes us feel better, like seeing that, like, okay, like it's not just me that's like struggled, because I guarantee you it's not. So yeah, I'd love to see those comments. Of course, like funny, not in like a heartache way, like just like, oh yeah, like I've been there, done that, like I get it. If you're not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you join my community here on YouTube. Keep an eye out for my next 2 videos on the topic, and if you want to watch my other ones, I mean basically my whole channel is this, but you will find the other videos of this series. I think there's 5 before this one, or this is number 5 and there's 4 before this one, so definitely plenty to watch if you're interested. And with that, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye guys.